Guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome back. As you guys may know, I went to Monday Night Raw yesterday, and I'm assuming a lot of my YouTube subscribers are from Twitter. But yeah, I went to Monday Night Raw for the second straight week in a row, and I didn't make a YouTube video about the review of the first one because I was sitting nearly front row, and I just wanted to drink it in, sort of. But I was sort of in the middle row seats, so I'll just cover this Monday Night Raw because I didn't take a lot of pictures, and I just wanted to enjoy Raw the way it was meant to be enjoyed. But it was a good show last night. And as you guys may know, Vince McMahon was sort of changing stuff around. But here's why I'm not surprised. Are the headquarters are an hour away, roughly, from Hartford, Connecticut, where the stadium was. And Vince McMahon, if he's gonna see an opportunity to get involved, a guy like Vinnie Mac is gonna get involved. And but really, the changes were not even that bad, and if anything, the show was benefiting because of those changes. Now, I still think Vince McMahon should stay away from WWE, but whatever. Let's get to the review. Seth Rollins started the show, and just when you're there live, the reaction to Seth Rollins is off the charts. I was there for both Cody, two weeks in a row, Cody and Seth's entrances, and dare I say that Seth Rollins literally had a bigger reaction slightly than Cody. People were going nuts for Seth Rollins. But Seth started off the show, and then it didn't take long for Damian Priest and Finn to come out. Damian Priest was already accepted the open challenge that Seth laid on to anybody in the locker room. And Finn Balor came out, and Damian Priest sort of got annoyed by Finn a little bit. Finn Balor was like, the Judgment Day needs to be out here for the World Heavyweight Championship match. And Damian Priest is like, no. I want to do this by myself. I want to do it right. So you start to see some babyface tendencies from Damian Priest, which I think are by no mistake. I think if JD McDonough is going to join the Judgment Day, someone needs to leave. And it just seems like WWE's hinting at Damian Priest being that guy. But this opening segment was live. It was so good. It was good in general because I like seeds being planted. But Seth Rollins, the thing that really caught my eye from this segment is that Seth said, "My reign is already longer than Finn's." And as you guys may know, this is because Finn had a 24-hour reign because of his injury at SummerSlam when he lost the championship to Seth Rollins. When he won the championship, the Universal title from SummerSlam from Seth Rollins years ago. But, that line right there, it's just perfection. It was just absolutely perfection. I love callbacks. I'm a guy of callbacks. So, that was good. Next up, Becky Lynch versus Sonya Deville. Great to see Becky fight live. I've seen Becky fight at War Games. That's it. It's always a blessing to see Becky Lynch fight live. She's one of the very best women's wrestlers in the world. She fought Sonya Deville, and I thought this match was honestly going to be quick. I thought both women's Money in the Bank qualifying matches weren't really going to take a ton of time. But Sonya versus Becky was a great watch. And I think this is another thing that I love about Chelsea Green. She really just Chelsea Green was one of the stars of the match. And watching her, and, I just think this match was great. Trish and Zoe at the top of the stage added an effect. Chelsea, ringside. And the fact that the match went on longer is great for Sonya Deville. It really just shows that Sonya Deville isn't going to be squashed. It shows that Sonya isn't a person to be messed with. Becky ended up winning the match. That's academic. But it was a great match to see live. It was a fantastic match. Obviously Becky was going to go to the Money in the Bank ladder match, especially about if Zoe is going to Money in the Bank. But, like I said, this match was way better than I thought. I thought that they were going to completely make the women's Money in the Bank qualifying matches go by fast, but they didn't, and I like that. Next up, we had a backstage segment of Dreams. Imperium confronting Kale and Sammy. That rivalry isn't really done, I guess. But this was a great backstage segment. Gunther doesn't like anybody taking Imperium lightly, and KO and Sammy are kind of doing that. And yeah, it was honestly, I love the backstage segment, and there were rumors earlier in the day that Gunther vs KO was gonna happen. It was seemed to be too good to be true, but it was true. Gunther versus KO happened, and my goodness, it felt like the match was going on for a half an hour, which I don't know how long the match was, but this was one of the best matches that out of all the 5 or 6 WWE events that I've been to in my life. This was one of the best. Like, this is how good Gunther is. This is how great Gunther is. Just absolutely, no matter what he does, and especially against KO, the match over exceeded the hype. And I like KO as much as the next guy, but this was because of Gunther. Gunther dominated a lot of the match, and it's almost like KO, even as a tag team champion, even as one of the best in the business, he had to fight up to Gunther. If this was just mano a mano, Gunther would have won. But Imperium and Sammy were fighting at ringside. Gunther won by roll up, which I honestly think is to protect KO, because if Gunther just wouldn't have beat up KO and then beaten him, maybe it wouldn't have been a little bit weird. But the roll up kind of saves KO from being like, oh my god, Gunther just pinned him that easily. Now, I wouldn't really care either way if Gunther pinned KO normally, because I understand that, because Gunther's about to become the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion in history. But it was still just like, it was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. But next up, we had a backstage segment, Shayna and Ronda. Not really interested, but the part that did interest me is that Kayden and Katana finally showed up on Monday Night Raw. And I was already worried when they stepped up to the tag team champions. I already got worried. I was like, oh god, so this is what Vince is going to do. He's going to feed the NXT talent to Kayden and Katana. But then I remembered earlier in the day that there was a rumor that Kayden and Katana, this was already in the plans anyway. So I'm like, oh, never mind. But first impressions of Kayden and Katana, like backstage talking wise, they're great. I mean, they were basically perfect in NXT, and yeah. So, and also every WWE show I've been to has included Ronda in some way. I don't know if this is WWE trying to troll me, but I have no problem with Shayna. I loved Shayna's heel gimmick in NXT. I'm just not a Ronda fan. But Kayden and Katana debuted. Good crowd reaction. It's not like the crowd was like, oh my god, who are these people? Kayden and Katana got a good crowd reaction, and seeing them wrestle live, they are legit. Like they are going to be very good for the women's tag team division. I'm not saying that lightly. Now, obviously, Shayna and Ronda won. That's not the surprising part. Kayden and Katana were really great to watch, and there was one moment where I thought they were going to win. Kayden and Katana are going to be such a stroke of great stuff for the women's tag team division. And this is just certainly not the last time they are going to get a look in at Shayna and Ronda. But next up, we had Ricochet versus Shinsuke, which is a random banger. I don't think it was advertised for the show. But, the match was just getting underway, and then Bronson Reed came in and took out both Shinsuke and Ricochet. To me, Bronson Reed might get into the Money in the Bank ladder match. I don't know how. I don't know if Bronson Reed's just going to keep doing this all the way to Money in the Bank. But this kind of gives me a good indication that Bronson Reed is going to be put in the Money in the Bank ladder match somehow. And to me, who cares? Because Bronson Reed absolutely deserves it. The dude's main roster run, this dude has already done fantastic work. Now, obviously, I was a little bit sad. I wanted to see Shinsuke and Ricochet fight for a long time. But obviously, there's so much that you can fit in. And there's a lot of Monday Night Raw stuff that went on for a long time, like each segment and match. So, obviously, one thing had to be way shorter than the other things. Next up, we had Miz TV with Cody Rhodes. Miz, seeing Miz drip live was really good. And he brought out Cody Rhodes. Now, I have a video of Cody Rhodes' entrance, but I'm not going to do it because I don't know how YouTube reacts to that kind of stuff. But Great to see Cody Rhodes for the second straight week. Once again, the crowd reaction to Cody Rhodes, the place came unglued. But like I was saying earlier, I think that Seth Rollins' crowd reaction was more. I'm not here to complain about that because either way, these are two of the biggest baby faces in the business by a mile. No one even touches babyface Cody and Seth. But Miz had a surprise for Cody, and that was Dom and Rhea, which I was happy because we got to boo Dom, which is always great, and who doesn't love to see Rhea live? But Dom coming out was really great, and my goodness, the crowd stepped up. When Dom came out, I was like, please don't let this man speak. Please boo over him, and the crowd delivered. And then Cody started to get a little bit sick of it. Before Cody came at Dom, Rhea has to be there. And Dom got in a cheap shot on Cody Rhodes, which I was like, oh my God. All right, so Cody's going to come after him. No. Sort of like an awkward, Cody sort of awkwardly standing there. He's like, oh, yeah, I just got kind of shoved in the face by Dom. I really wanted to see Cody just go batshit crazy, just try to go truck Rhea, to try to go after Dom. That would have been kind of funny. But, this segment was all right. Maybe we could have gotten a little bit more time to see Cody speak. Like, I wanted to see Cody speak about Brock Lesnar more, or maybe talk about other things. But, this was sort of like a main, like, Rhea is not to be messed with sort of thing. To me, this is more of like headlining Rhea almost on the show instead of Cody Rhodes. I got that feeling from this segment. But people in the crowd, they absolutely love this. They ate this up. Next up was Zoe Stark versus Natalya. I thought maybe because of Becky and Sonya, we're gonna get a good Natalya versus Zoe Stark match. But once again, Natalya doesn't have a match that goes over a lot of time because Zoe Stark beat the shit out of Natalya to qualify for Money in the Bank, which I was expecting after Becky qualified earlier in the night. And Zoe Stark, honestly, is one of the favorites. I'm going to say that right now. Zoe Stark has a good chance of winning Money in the Bank. I'd say that people thinking maybe Raquel or Io. I want it to be Io. I don't want Raquel winning. Zoe Stark, I would give a chance, but Money in the Bank is. But if Io qualifies for the match, which I believe that she will, I'm going all in on Io winning Money in the Bank. But no one was really into this match, which I was expecting. Honestly, the silence from the crowd, I wasn't really that surprised in because Zoe. That's gonna happen. Zoe's gonna build her way up to getting crowd reactions. That's just how it is. Next up, we had Cedric and Shelton versus Indus and as soon as I saw that, I kind of just like sighed in a bad way because this was bad. Like think about this: Shelton and Cedric got less match time than jobbers or people in NXT that don't get a lot of TV time in NXT, anyways. This was so bad. Like, if I was Shelton and Cedric, I would legit be pissed off and not happy. Like, this was bad. And seeing it live, like, a lot of people were unhappy because Cedric and Shelton are extremely talented people. They deserve to be in the upper mid card, sort of. Especially Cedric, who has not had a lot going for him. Shelton, he's had a long career already. But Cedric is one of the best. Remember in 205 Live, Cedric was one of the best cruiserweights, if not the best cruiserweight. But now they've just sort of turned Cedric and Shelton into here's someone that's going to beat your ass. And I'm like, yeah, Cedric and Shelton let people go over them, but Cedric is not the guy. It should be Shelton, but Cedric is not the guy who should be doing that. I just was not into this. Now, Indus Sher is going to be great, obviously. But this is not what I was into. Next up, Damian Priest versus Seth Rollins was next. Match started at the 10:30 section of the hour, and this match was fantastic. It lived up to the hype. The crowd was so into it. After the last two segments, no one was really into it, but people were just getting ready for this match. Seth versus Damian Priest delivered. We had no doubt that Damian Priest was going to deliver another banger again. We had no doubt that Seth was going to deliver another banger again. And these guys were fighting for 20 minutes, and it was 20 minutes of straight joy. And if I was in the crowd, it was almost a half an hour of these guys facing off, which was just a joy. I could watch a 1 hour Iron Man match of Seth versus Damian Priest. But as all things should, you knew that Finn Balor was going to get involved, even though Damian Priest said he didn't want him to. But Finn Balor kind of threw Damian Priest off guard. And Seth Rollins retained the World Heavyweight Championship. And Damian Priest wasn't happy, which even furthers the hinting that Damian Priest is maybe getting sick of the Judgment Day. Maybe, sort of. But Seth Rollins retained the World Heavyweight Championship in a banger with Damian Priest. But Finn Balor did not want to just go off with that note. Finn Balor wants to face Seth Rollins. And it seems like that this is sort of not drifting into Monday Night Raw, but more Money in the Bank territory, because this stare down tells me that Finn and Seth are not going to face off on a random Raw, but more like Money in the Bank, which I think would just be the right move. We still don't have a ton of matches for Money in the Bank besides the women's and men's Money in the Bank ladder match. So this match right here would be a banger, and Seth versus Finn would be perfect for a UK crowd. The UK crowd would eat up two of the best in-ring wrestlers in the WWE. But like I said, great Raw show. I'm not going to talk too much about Vince because I don't like even saying his name. But live watching Monday Night Raw, it was a joy from start to finish. I didn't have too much problem with it. Even the segments that were bad, watching it live, it wasn't that bad. Like, I liked seeing Zoe Stark wrestle live. And, it was still nice to see Cedric and Shelton, but that was just something that was bad, not well booked. But that's pretty much it for the video. I enjoyed Monday Night Raw in person, and I won't be going to a WWE show for a while because I'm trying to save up my money for WrestleMania 40, which I will be going to. But like I said, that's it for the video, and I will see you guys for the SmackDown review this Friday.